it is content. Saturday night. If you are here instead of watching the Carano Rousey fight, cheers. but, but we know you're probably there watching that. But that's okay. We're here to we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna talk about a sci-fi horror flick that was suggested by our guest tonight, Austin, who is creator of American Demon Comics. How you doing?
Doing good. Um, I,
Sorry about the tingling.
missing out on the fight, but we can always watch it again.
Yeah. Honestly, that's one thing that I was never a sports guy, like,
Mhm.
and I never got the concept of you'll know you'll know you'll know the score tomorrow, like, but but I like I was telling you before we start streaming, like I have been getting more into watching some of these fights and stuff, and like now I'm getting it more. It's like, oh,
Right.
there's it's while it's happening, there's the drama, there's the action, there's the
Yeah.
who's going to, but yeah, it was something that just kind of went over my head before. But I mean, I guess it's the same thing as like watching a movie. At the end, if you don't watch the movie, someone just tells you, yeah, Luke Skywalker wins in the end. Like, oh, okay. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Different things, but
No,
um,
that's totally real.
so anything going on with you this week? I want to talk about a couple things. I watched a movie today. I wasn't really expecting too much from it because it was on Netflix and it's a Netflix movie. And
Mhm.
I don't know how you feel about Netflix's like um, the movies in the past few years that it's been putting out. Are you familiar with many of them? Or have you tried to watch any of them?
Um, I'm not really. I've not really been much of a movie person unless it's like a really good recommend, like a
Yeah.
word of mouth recommendation. And then, as far as Netflix goes, Peaky Blinders and Black Mirror are
Oh
are
yeah,
what we get into.
yeah. My wife has tried to get me into Peaky Blinders, and it's not that I don't like it.
Mhm.
Um, I I don't know why. I just can't get into it. I don't know why. Because there's other things. Okay. There's a show called The Gilded Age. It's by the guys who did Downton Abbey, and it's very much a similar thing where it's like upper class family, but this one happens to be during like the Industrial Revolution and
Mhm.
building trains, going across country and stuff. But it's just about rich families and the kind of drama that goes. I am so invested in that, and but I can't get into Peaky Blinders, well, and many other things. So I don't know. It's just one of those weird, it's just that thing, whatever it is that's in your brain that makes you like the things you like, I guess. But generally speaking, though, Netflix is, they produce movies and they're
Mhm.
terrible, like so bad. They're so they've tried like with rom coms, right?
Mhm.
And you watch like Pretty Woman or Notting Hill. If you haven't seen those, excellent movies, like so good. And I'm hoping for something like that when Netflix is like, oh, we got this rom com coming out, and you watch it, and it's it's trying to play it so safe
Mhm.
with like PC, culture or whatever,
Yeah.
that there's nothing funny about it, zero funny. And then um, the writing's so bad you don't care about if the characters get together or not. Like you just don't care.
Mhm.
So the movie I watched today though is called incredibly great. Now I just forgot what it was. um, hold on, I posted it on. Actually, let me check. Something bright creatures, incredibly bright creatures, but
Mhm.
it's like a feel good um, comedy drama sort of thing. It's about an older woman who lost her husband and her son at one point, and then a young dude who moves into town, and he had his mom had died, and but their relationship wasn't great. But it's that kind of their coming meeting and like maybe helping each other fill a need of family.
Hmm.
It is such a good movie, dude. It is so good. Like if you like mushy feely kind of movies. I don't know. How do you feel about
Well, I don't know if I've ever watched like a movie like that on purpose.
yeah.
Um,
uh,
I actually, what as you were talking, I realized that there is a Netflix originated movie called The Ritual, that I really enjoyed, but it's a horror movie.
did I see that one? I may have seen. No, I don't think I have. I
It's a
know
mo-
what you're
it's a
talking about. I think, but yeah, I
yeah,
don't think I've seen that one.
it's a monster movie, and it plays it pretty well. I would say it could have been better. I feel like there's some aspects to it that could have been better, but 7, 8 out of 10, something like that.
Nice, nice.
Um,
Might have to give it
Good
a watch.
watch on Netflix.
Right, right.
But as far as like mushy love, uh, feel good movies, I just don't typically fall into those.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
that's not saying that I don't enjoy them.
Oh, I'm the same way.
There's
Where
but
you don't want to watch it, but at the end you're like, yeah, it was pretty good.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing with like for me a lot of like heavy dramas. Like
Mhm.
I never wanted to watch like Schindler's List or 12 Years I have no desire because I know I will end up crying, and I don't. I don't want that, but this one I about halfway through the movie and I cried the rest of the time. But it was still for me. I highly recommend it. But we got gnarly manga Michael in the chat saying hey,
Michael.
and he says he was thinking about starting Peaky Blinders. So um,
It takes about 4 episodes before like all the parts that they got moving click in one of the scenes,
mhm.
and then I'm like, "Ooh, now I'm invested." But like you just kind of just watching it for the first few episodes. It's like Game of Thrones. I don't know if you got into that.
Yeah, yeah, that got into that one.
You watch Game of Thrones and you're not really like sure where this is going, but by the time the last episode hits that first season and it
Mhm.
all you're just kind of like, "Oh, okay." I'm enjoying this now.
Yeah,
Like now everything feels more enjoyable. And it's like if you like watch it multiple times, you'll start to learn people's names, and then
yeah,
and if you've just kind of start to digest it a little bit more. But
yeah. I think I got through the first season of Peaky Blinders,
mhm,
and it just yeah, like I said, just didn't catch. Another one would be Vikings
mhm.
was another one that like everyone's like, oh, you got to watch it. I got through about a season and a half. I'm like, I don't know, it's just not doing it. You know what did it for me though? Vampire Diaries. I don't know. I don't know. Like, my wife was watching it, and I'd come home from work and it'd be on, and I like roll my eyes like, oh, this is so corny. And then next thing you know, I'm standing still in my work clothes watching 2 episodes. Like, what? What's going on? Now I've got T-shirts. Uh, Michael wants to know what
All
I'm
right.
drinking. I got some. It's root beer and rum. So,
Mm, sounds good.
which I think I've mentioned on stream before. Root beer, it's all fake now. I want to know what real root beer tastes like
Mm,
with the
I didn't know.
sarsaparilla, whatever root in it. I want to know what that
I'm
tastes
not
like.
sure. I'm like, did I live back when it
I,
was still real root beer, or has
I'm
it
not
always been
sure.
fake now?
Yeah, I'm not sure I have. Like I posted on X like if I had a time machine, one of the things I do is I go back to when sodas all had the drugs in them, because that was like their first like iteration. I want to
Yeah.
see what they taste like, and also were they fun? But,
What if they just tasted awful, but
yeah.
they they had the good stuff in them?
Yeah. But so yeah, if anyone's out watching now or in the future and you're into mushy stuff, watch what I say it was called Remarkably Bright Creatures. Super good, well directed, super well written, and touching. Like really was pretty touching. Yeah, so that was one of the things that I wanted to touch on before I before we got on. Then another thing is I did happen to get this week. Um, is that forward or backward for you?
Huh?
Is that forwards or backwards for you?
Uh, it is backwards.
Okay, I thought I had that fixed at one point. Oh, you know what? I had it on my laptop. That's what it was. Now it's on back on my iPad.
Hmm.
Anyways, yeah, which also I had to. I went to Best Buy and they told me it cost $180 just for them to run diagnostics on my laptop, and I told them I've already done that. So like, can we skip that 180 and you guys just give me like, uh, are you a computer guy, like a tech guy?
Um, Sorry, I was trying to quickly look up another good Netflix movie
Hmm.
that I remembered. Uh, but give me the last minute.
Well, no, I was my laptop. I was saying how because I had to switch back to my iPad.
Yeah.
Are you a tech guy?
Uh, it depends. Um, I wouldn't consider myself a tech guy, but in a lot of the circles I run in, I tend to be pretty savvy with computers. So
Yeah. When you're the most tech savvy person in a room full of Luddites, it's like, oh, I guess.
yeah.
But no, I was saying like uh, y- Best Buy wanted to charge me $180 just to run diagnostics. It's like, dude, my laptop's 4 months old,
Yeah.
completely does not work. I'm not paying any more
Oh.
money. The only thing that happens on it is you turn it on, it says your laptop needs fixed. It's like, oh, well, okay, well, anyway, so yeah, that's another thing. Let's see.
What? Try like later. Try like just googling it
Oh,
on.
I've tried so much. Apparently,
Tr-
what I need to do is um either send a thumb drive to Hewlett Packard, which would they will load Windows 10 or 11 onto it, send it back to me, or I pay them 30 to $50 for them to buy a thumb drive, and then do that, and then send it to me. Like, what you guys? You can't like get the fuck out of here.
you will. You will. Uh, you will own nothing
Yeah,
and be
exactly.
happy.
Yeah.
This stuff is getting ridiculous.
Michael says I got to get on here again and some root beer. I think I might have been drinking the same thing when he was on. It's very possible. So, um, so anyways, let's do really quick before we get into the meat, which is the movie Dark Skies, and we start talking about that and all that comes with it, aliens and all that good stuff. Let's touch on your campaign and real quick, just give an overview of what's happened and um, and then we'll dig deeper into that once we get through the conversation about the movie.
Okay. Um, well, I had launched my first Volume 1 campaign attempting to fund enough money to get not only a Volume 1 trade paperback collection, but also the following number 4 issue. And just because I wanted there to be some consistency that if people got all the issues, they would have an available single issue number 4. Um, well, I had made that date. I had did a trajectory that issue number 4 would be about 50 pages, and I would be done with those 50 pages around this time, or if not done, very, very close to done. Um, it's like about 10, 10 pages.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I wanted to do is line up the launch day with a good time. Um, and so I lined it up with the one of the state's largest conventions in Alabama, and um, so I they had already posted the date, so I knew the date, and that gave me a good goal. And I wanted to stick to it. It looked like everything was going pretty well. I had went through a Kickstarter course and a comic course specifically to try and better promote it,
Mm-hmm.
know what people are looking for, how to convert people, but also how to build up your own audience, et cetera, et cetera. And we get to this point. I launch. It was a great launch day. Things were working out. Uh, After a while, it didn't look like it would fully fund, but I wasn't too concerned about that. I've had some people drop a lot of money out of
Mm-hmm.
nowhere. So, that wasn't the concern. What ended up being the concern is that this wasn't going to be 50 pages. This was looking like I was going to be in the 80-page range for the story to conclude after I revisited um, my outline. Um, and those extra 40 pages are a tremendous increase to the cost of everything. And not only that, but all the quotes had already kind of gone up without any changes, like the own market kind of escalated a little bit
Yeah.
in those months. So I was looking at it and I was going to be very behind in funds if it were to fund. I also was going to be um, adding on a bunch of extra work, a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of the extra pages, the commissions, um, just doing some of the remastering of the lettering, making a scrollable format. I can do all these things, but on top of the extra pages that I was looking at, this was going to be way too much. And so, with the cost, with the responsibility, I was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to properly fulfill this. And I had kind of had about a week of kind of considering this. During that week, I just kind of sparked a little cover that I just was going to be like, let me make something new.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, this cover is awesome. I'm gonna make this the issue number 4 cover, and I'm gonna cancel this, and I'm gonna relaunch later, and it's just gonna be a single issue.
Nice.
Because I was like, I can make what I've got right now into one issue, and then the next 40 pages will just be issue 5, and that will clear all this up.
Yeah.
And I'll just be honest, because as a consumer and somebody who's been on the internet for all my life, it's honesty and transparency
Mm-hmm.
always wins favor. And and as long as I'm giving it my full skin in the game,
Yeah.
and whenever anybody else has had been in a similar situation and they've been honest about it, I've always given them the benefit of the doubt and understood the situation. So
Yeah.
that was my hope here.
And for, fans and readers, like, your excuse is way better than a lot of other. Basically, you're saying, I have more story to tell. no one's
Yeah.
no one's gonna be upset. if that was everyone's excuse for like, oh, I got to put a hold on my campaign, everyone would be like, that's rad, like more story. I'm okay with that. But yeah, there's other excuses out there that even if they're being upfront and honest, it still hurts a bit more.
Well, it continues to grow. When I did the previous campaigns, I had already kind of seen where my issues were going to end, and I was like, okay, I can start kind of thinking about the Kickstarter now. And this one was so different. I was like, I'm going to need all the brute force marketing
Hmm.
and push that I can get because I just don't have I didn't have the following at the time to do $5,000 of funding. And I still didn't, I don't think, but um it was still really, really amazing to me because my other campaigns only ever hit 32 backers total, the entire campaign.
Hmm.
This one hit 44 backers
Nice.
um, with 2 weeks left to go. So that work paid off for sure. And then when I was like, okay, well, here's the issue 4 pre-launch. You know, I appreciate it if you all go follow it. Day 1, I had 30 people follow it, and I was like, oh my god,
Nice.
it was
Yeah.
such a grind to get 30 people the first time. It was such a grind.
Well, we'll get more into your campaign and like kind of your history of your comic and stuff after we talk about this movie. So, if you're watching now, watching later, and you've seen it before, you know that I make a request of my guests to send me one of three things: 5 movies that mean something to them, because the chances of me not seeing one of the movies on that list are very high. I think out of the guests I've had so far, only one person has sent me a list that I've seen all the movies. Um, and so yeah, Austin tonight chose to go with some movies, and I think there might have been two of yours that I had not seen, but this is the one I chose. Was Dark Skies. So I watched that last night, gathered some uh, images and a couple clips, and we're just gonna dive into it. But also, I want to show you my little intro, my little. Uh, I don't know why I was bored this week and I did this. How So there you go. I wish I had music to it, like a slap and a cool little like guitar hit or something. But yeah. Oh no, that's not the wrong one. That's even the wrong one. That's for comic book high five. I was
uh,
just so excited to show. Okay, so this is the other one. Sorry. Here we go. Imagine,
oh yeah.
yeah. Imagine like the sound of neon lights flickering on and off in your head. So
Hmm.
that's what you'll get. So there you go. So we're at the movies. Again, the movie is Dark Skies 2013, I believe, if I remember correctly. Um, what's your history? How did you come across this movie, and why did why did it click with you?
I actually don't remember how I came across the movie. Um, because I think I watched it in 2016,
Mhm.
and that's so long ago. I don't know what brought me to to watching it.
It is so
Um,
long ago, and it's kind of sad.
yeah. It clicked with me because ever since I was a kid, I watched anything paranormal, those stupid documentaries that were so, you know, not
Yeah.
an educated approach to the subject. You had a debunker guy and you had a full believer guy, and there were these crummy images
and
and
a host, the
interviews.
host had the voice that was all like, and then
Yeah.
the alien became more mysterious or whatever. Like
Mhm.
wasn't it usually the guy who was the pilot in the movie Airplane? I think that was the guy who did most of those voices.
Oh, wow. That would be great. I would love that. But, like, any of those that I could watch, I would watch, and I would be terrified, but I would be
Mhm,
so interested in it. I couldn't look away,
mhm,
and, so I kind of become like a kind of a believer in, uh, in aliens visiting us, and so, watching this movie, it it just it was such a nice combination of a poltergeist and then your paranormal,
yeah,
uh, normalities of what people report as an encounter and, uh, alien, activity. It
yeah,
just it really resonated with me, um, and yeah, I just it scared me. It did its job. Like,
nice.
back, um I guess it was about that time, I started becoming more open to, horror movies.
Mhm,
I never understood like how you were like, "I don't understand the sports,
yeah,
like, why don't we just hear the score later?" I never understood being scared. I didn't want to I thought that that was
yeah,
just such a bad thing, like, why would I wanna be scared?
yeah,
And so, most of my life, I just tried to avoid horror movies, and then some point, I must have watched a horror movie that was like, "I don't know, this is kinda fun being scared."
yeah,
And
yeah.
then the more I watch them, the more I'm like, "Man, when are these gonna
Mhm.
scare me again?"
uh, Hold on real quick. We got radio stories now saying jumping on saying hi, and then Michael was saying Sponge shirt. I met them at a record store they performed at for their second album. They asked me where I got my shirt. Nice. Yeah, my wife got this for my birthday, which was like last week or something. I don't remember. But I, for whatever reason, no. Sponge released a new single about a month ago, and I listened to it. And I was like, man, this is actually really solid. So I went back and I had listened to Rod and Pinata when it came out, but kind of dropped it. But I listened to like a couple of their albums. Super underrated, totally underrated band. But yeah, I really actually started to really dig them then. But back to the horror movies thing. Do you were there was there a particular like movie or movies that kind of kicked that on for you, where that you remember that you're like, okay, this I had a good time during this.
I wanna say Insidious was
Hmm.
the first one, um, but also I also feel like that one scared me so bad, I was like, "This sucks." When I was, so much younger, so much more,
Yeah.
not into horror movies, but, I think that that one did kinda open me up to being like, it scared me so bad that that's kinda when the, um, uh, what's the word? Uh, desensitization
Yeah.
desensis
Desensit
what?
desensitivation, desensitization,
Yeah,
desensit.
desensitization, that's what we're gonna go with. Started to happen where I'd watch another scary movie and I'm like, "Oh, that wasn't so bad.
Mhm.
I'm not scared now." And then it just like, up until Hereditary, I really wasn't like well, Dark Skies, I
Yeah.
wasn't really, like, afraid
Mhm.
again.
Yeah, I had a similar thing where like yeah, horror movies wasn't like a thing when I was growing up. Like I just didn't. I it, I had friends. All my friends were always into things that I wasn't into per se. Metal, not a super big metalhead, and horror movies. And those are the guys I always hung around with, though. So they're always talking about, Freddy Krueger or one that I remember was People Under the Stairs that they talked about, and those sorts of movies. Never. And then I went and saw Event Horizon in the theaters,
Mhm.
way back in the day, and it was not promoted as anything other than a sci-fi adventure. And then me and my brother went and saw it, and it got real dark real quick. You've seen that, right?
I don't think I have.
Dude, watch Event Horizon. It's a
Tell me.
sci-fi. Okay, so basic plot. Um, a spaceship. Humanity has learned how to open wormholes to get to travel across space. Right. The problem is what they pass through when they go through the wormhole.
Right.
So, and there's some scenes in there that are just like, oh my god, like yeah, but and it was the same thing where it's like, oh, this is crazy, but I had a good time. And
Mhm.
then The Ring was another one that did that to me, which for my money, I think The Ring is probably my favorite like horror movie.
Mhm.
So, if have you seen that one?
I gotta watch it again. I did watch it long time ago.
Yeah, yeah. It's one of the it's like beautifully shot, like it's like an artistic like horror movie. Like the cinematography is fantastic. It's just, yeah, wonderfully, the colors they choose, the you know editing for some of the effects, just fantastic movie. But also, a lot of times when you watch a horror movie, especially American horror movies, in the past, where there's like a ghost involved, it ends
Mhm.
up being like, oh, we have to help the ghost. They have to come to some sort of closure or something like that. And
Mm.
I've never liked that. And I thought that was going to happen in The Ring, and it didn't. And I was like, oh, okay, I dig this movie. It's just evil for evil's sake. It's like, oh gosh, but so yeah. Anyways, Dark Skies. If you have not seen it, we're going to get the whole thing's going to be spoiled for you. So so yeah, there you go. We're gonna get basically take it from beginning to end and talk about it. But and so you having watched it a few times and me have only watched it once, I'm going to have to rely on you if I have certain questions. So there was a movie I watched, which was called The Wolf of Snow Hollow,
Mhm.
um, for the stream. And when I watched it, I didn't really like it. And then going through it with my guest, at the time, uh, if I remember right, that might have been Dr. Mask, but they really cleared up a lot of stuff in the movie. And by the end of my episode, I was like, oh no, this is a really good movie. So,
Mhm.
we're gonna start off with this right here. I enjoyed the movie, but
Mhm.
there was issues. So if we
Oh
come
yeah.
across those issues and and you can clear them up, please do.
Okay.
All right.
I'm probably gonna back you up on them because
Okay.
it might. I don't. I it clicked with me because of so much of the subject matter,
Hmm.
but like some of the character choices, lines,
Yeah, yeah.
delivery, whatever it is, in some areas probably weren't great. So
Yeah. All right. So we have movie starts, suburban life. The intro is just really just beautiful streets of suburban life. Kids riding bikes, playing pools, all this stuff, and then we're introduced to the family here. Who this is the husband and the wife, and they got a little kid um, who always looks like he's got gumballs in his mouth, but that's another thing. And he's got a pet lizard. Okay, so here's the first question. I thought the pet lizard was going to play a bigger part in the movie, but it didn't. Do
Man, I
you?
didn't even remember there was a Belushi.
Okay, so so he has this lizard and his tail falls off, and he tells the mom's like,
Yeah.
you got to do something with it. He's like, I'm going to nurse it back to health, and then he does the same thing later on at a picnic or something, and I thought there would be something else to it, but I think going through this and gathering the images and stuff, I think I figured out that it has something to do with we're the lizard in this scenario. The aliens are the little boy.
Mhm.
So like they're experimenting, or and we're in the family, I should
Yeah.
say. The family is in the shoebox.
Mhm.
So that I think that's what it was. But yeah, I thought there would be more to it because they focused on it a little bit at the beginning. So um, yeah, I don't know. But
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that totally makes sense. Um, I that's I there's a lot of subtext that I don't pick up on
mhm.
in most things until I've gone like, I'm passionate about, Game of Thrones and Attack on Titan, and I will watch any critique video, any essay video, any
Yeah.
explanation videos that come my way describing particular characters, the whole series or an episode,
Mhm.
just, and that always will point out something that I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm so stupid, I didn't see that."
Yeah, well, that's one of the things I enjoy about doing this is, like I said, like I get things. A, I don't know about you. People who watch things over and over and over again. I'm not that. My wife will watch Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings,
Mhm.
Twilight, whatever. She'll watch them over, and you know she calls them her comfort movies. I There's very few movies that I've seen more than twice, and maybe a handful that I've seen 5 times, maybe.
Mhm.
And so this gives me an opportunity to watch a movie and then kind of get deeper into it and see what I can get out of it. I kind of like that, you know.
Right. Well,
Art.
I really enjoy Dark Skies, but out of my list,
Mhm.
the District 9
Yeah,
and Rambo would probably have been the ones that I would have been like, "Okay,
yeah,
here's
you
the
dig
shit."
into, yeah. Nice. Well,
But,
well,
this is a really I love all of them. So
yeah, yeah. So then, yeah, we meet the family, including the oldest son here, who's hanging out with his, his loser buddy, and they're watching some like archaic VHS porn movie together. And I love the line the kid says here, which is, "Dude, this is so lame. I've done this stuff a million times." um, oh, hey, what the? Get back there! I don't want to see that. How in the world? There it is. That one. Oh, now we're gone. Okay, this happened last week and it pissed me off, but I'm just gonna keep it like this. Um, maybe if I switch this, go back to this. Oh, that's a clip for later. Yeah. Anyways, there we are. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, they introduce the family. I think they do a fairly good job of introducing the family.
Yeah.
The dynamic. The dad's been out of work for a while. The mom's a realtor, and she's struggling to sell a house. The older boy is getting to that point where he's starting to kind of get into his rebellious phase, but he still loves his little brother, and I like that dynamic of him and his little brother. This scene here, he's reading to his little brother across the hall with walkie talkies, and it's a really nice scene, but it
Mhm.
also sets up um,
Right.
some of the concepts of the movie. They talk about a character in the book called the Sandman, and plays a role farther down the movie. I Okay, here's a question: if they had not named this Dark Skies, um, or maybe not, I don't know. Maybe it's the trailer. Maybe the trailer gave too much away. But I think this movie would have benefited me more if I had known nothing about the aliens.
Mhm.
If I had just come in completely blind to the fact, and maybe it was just a horror, kind of movie. Like, oh, the Sandman's the mysterious monster creature,
Yeah.
and then get that twist. I think that would have benefited more, but I think the trailer gave a whole lot away.
Yeah, I don't like, when I watched this, I had seen the trailers, but they were years and years before
Hmm.
I actually watched the movie, and so I had completely forgotten that, and
Yeah.
like I said, I don't remember how I stumbled across watching this movie, but I don't think I knew that it was aliens going into it.
It did it
So,
again. Um, so yeah, I think that probably really helped you along that with
mhm.
that. So the brothers kind of introduced the idea that there's going to be something scary happening. Um, there's a little bit of family dynamic that happens, and then one night the mom, Carrie Russell, comes downstairs and finds the kitchen's a mess. Um, so I watched this with my wife. She she fell asleep at some point during it, but she she was tired. It wasn't I don't know if it was necessarily because she wasn't into the movie, but one of the things she said was right off the bat, she's like, "This looks cheap," and I get what she was saying to a certain extent. It's not
Mhm.
a high budget movie. It's a mid budget movie at best.
Mhm.
But I'm going to tell you this. I think the thing that really knocked for me the made it feel more low budget than anything else was the husband.
Yeah.
Um, the way his overall look, like he just looked unkempt, and I know he was supposed to, but like
He looked like an off-brand main actor,
exactly.
like the Great Value, like Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, yeah.
Or,
Remember, have you seen uh National Treasure?
yes.
So the same thing with the sidekick in National Treasure. He's this guy where you're like, that should be somebody else, but it's this guy.
Um,
It's
Mel Gibson, I think is, he was the one in Signs,
mhm.
and I feel like this is an echo of Signs,
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
and and you feel like Mel Gibson should be, like, the dad or something, like, that's what I actually when I remember the movie, I
Mhm.
think it's Mel Gibson, like, it just swaps them out for me.
Yeah. I was watching it thinking like Giovanni Ribisi, who
Who's he played?
have you seen like Avatar,
The Blue People?
Blue Aliens movie?
Mhm.
He's the bad guy who runs the corporation. But like this guy reminded me of a knockoff version of him.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyways. So there's a couple of nights where the wife comes downstairs. The first night she finds a mess in the kitchen. Um I don't I let's see if I'm gonna go back to this picture and see if so there's none of it in here, but I noticed, I don't know why I noticed, all the watermelon was eaten like completely down to the rind. I don't know why I found that so funny, but
Why else would they raid the
yeah.
fridge but to eat all the eggs and watermelon?
Yeah. But and then the husband's so nonchalant about it. He's just like, maybe it's a raccoon, big one. And at that point, I was like, I don't like you, dude. Like, I told my wife, I paused it. I said to my wife, like, if I reacted that way to somebody clearly breaking into our house, you have the right to leave me. Like, they didn't even call the cops or nothing. But next
He was
night,
just in denial.
yeah, I guess so. The next night, they come down and this happens.
Mhm.
This All these things are stacked up and it's forming. I just see like the kind of crop circle alien signs on the ceiling there, and the little boy, there's the first jump scare. The little boy comes out and uh, the mom's talking to him, and he says he had a bad dream, and then he blames all this on the Sandman, and the Sandman who put all this together and then came into his room. Um, I don't know, like, do you don't have any kids or anything?
I've got 2 kids.
Do you? Okay. Have you ever had any sort of creepy nightmare kid stuff, which is the worst?
I actually haven't. I've been a single dad,
Mm,
most of the time. So I get them on the weekends, and I've only had my daughter, stay the weekends. I have 2 baby mamas.
mhm,
So she stays the weekends, and I think there's been one time she's had a nightmare, and,
mm,
um, gosh, she was, like, maybe 4 years old, and all she had to do was just get up in bed and sleep in my bed
yeah.
with me for the night.
Mm,
Other than that, I didn't have any nightmare issues.
yeah. Yeah. My oldest daughter, way back when, one night, she comes into the room and she's not like like crying, but like she's pale and like shaky, scared.
Mhm.
And I'm like, what's going on? Like, what's going on, kid? What's happening? And she is looking at. She takes me back to her room, and she's looking at shit. She's looking
Mhm.
at stuff in her room, like
Yeah.
watching it go around. And I'm not 100% sure if she was really awake or if she was like
Mm.
sleeping, like sleepwalk kind of stuff.
Right.
But uh, just this year, what I did was at that point, like I'm freaking out. I'm like, this is kind of creepy. I don't like this. But I convinced her like, oh, it's just angels. And they're just coming to watch over you. So she ended up going back to sleep and everything is fine. But just this past year, um, so I have this partner at work, and he's super into conspiracy stuff. He's getting into like Christian conspiracy, Nephilim,
Mhm.
all that stuff.
The good stuff. Mhm.
Yeah, and so it naturally it's kind of I'm also getting into it as well because this is what we talk about all day. But the orbs stuff,
Mhm.
and I started remembering like my daughter's talked about these things. She's talked about like their orbs, and I'm like, oh my gosh! Like now I'm thinking about it, like you know, what did she see something or like again, it could because I don't know if you've ever seen someone who sleepwalks, but it's also really creepy. But
Mhm.
so
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
that's
awesome. I mean, not awesome for her, but
yeah,
that's kind of awesome.
yeah. Well, we might talk about my partner here in a little bit too because
I
she's
hear
got
all about the orbs, so,
yeah.
that is fascinating.
But so the family is starting to get into this series of things that are happening. Is this going to the next picture or not? Come on now. All right. We're also introduced to like the most nonchalant, don't give two shits cop there
Yeah.
is.
"You got kids in the house?
Yeah,
Oh, there's your problem."
exactly. And then uh, the this is a scene that is like a later on you realize what this little scene means, but I just wanted to point out this. Um, she had a problem selling this house.
Mhm.
Look at how cool this house is.
It wasn't cool in 2013.
I don't know, man. I would have snatched this thing up. Look at they left that stereo on the countertop.
Mhm.
There's that chair back there. Like you could sell that stuff for all kinds of money. Like I watched this. I'm like, I don't. This house is just way too cool for them to not be able to sell it. I didn't buy that at all, but that's just me. um, we got Buzz jumping in saying, "Hey, yo," and Cole. Hey, fellas, good to see you. I need to rewatch Dark Skies. I remember it really liking it. And yes, pesky kids. That was. um, but so A lot of just set up, and then on the third night, this happens. All the pictures go missing in the house.
Oh, I thought that was before the I thought that's what got the cops down there.
No, the
The
cops
first time.
returned after this,
Mm,
and so the first time, um, the first time he actually looks at one of the pictures on the countertop and kind of intimates like you got a teenager, kind of thing.
mm,
The second time, all the pictures are gone, but he's still blaming it on the kids, uh, and then the little boy kind of mentions something about they told me not to talk, and the dad learns about the dream and the Sandman, and he's tearing the room apart. He's freaking out, looking for the
mhm,
pictures, and we got a little hint here about um, an itchy back ear,
mhm.
which comes into play later. Um, so he then the dad's just not believing any of this. He thinks it's his dumb kids. He's like, but he's also just like he's really caught up in not having a job. He had an interview, it didn't go well, um, and he's just stressing out about the mortgage and stuff. So and he takes his kid to the park. His kid pees his pants and is just kind of zoned out, and then screams for the longest time. And I told my wife like I'm not against slapping a kid like. Like, there are times where I think it's like, appropriate, not a hard one, just like snap out of it,
Mhm,
but and then we get a little hint, the little kid's doing some
mhm.
drawings, and the mom seems to be having the hardest time of it for the first part of the movie.
Right.
What the fuck is happening? Uh, how do I do that? Get the
And
if
then
it changed.
Crenshaw comes into the movie.
Yeah, and then I am. Yeah, that is really beginning to annoy me. Okay, so I guess that's what I get for paying the cheaper price on Restream. Oh, the birds, and then
Mhm,
mom's hanging out. She finds a weird picture, and then she hears a thump to the window. Turns around, another bird hits. Pretty soon, uh, the whole house gets dark because there's so many birds flying into the
mhm.
house. Um, so it's I don't know about you, but like if that happened, so the following scene is the dad like outside with like some sort of environmental protection agency or whatever, and
Yeah.
um and he's super embarrassed. Like he's looking around the neighborhood like, oh gosh, everyone's looking at me. Do you know how cool it would be if something like that happened at your house? Like, yeah, it's hella weird, but like, come on, who else has got this going on?
Ew, yeah, like, I don't know, like, what would stem the response of embarrassment other than it's just kinda like, we've been saying weird things have been happening in our house,
Hmm.
and now it actually looks public, but at the same time, it's like, "See, this is proof, this is
Yeah,
something
exactly. Right.
strange," like,
Yeah.
and, like, the are you gonna get to the, like, animal control or whatever they call to get out there?
Hmm. Yeah.
And they're like, it's not impossible for
Yeah.
this to happen." Like, "What?"
Oh yeah, okay, good. I got the word clip written down there to remind me because otherwise I would have forgotten. So immediately after that comes this little scene, which is like I actually this was so when you saw this, I'm sure this was a jump scare for you as well. But for me, the first jump scare of the movie was that worked was
Mhm.
this scene here.
Mm.
Sam,
solid
Oh
scene.
yeah. Yeah, that one was big. Um,
There we go. Yeah, they had set that up earlier where she had gone upstairs and heard the boys talking over walkie-talkie, and it was a cute little scene. Go to bed,
mhm.
good night, mom, and then they took that back around and threw that in there, and yeah, that was for me. I was like, oh God, like, wasn't expecting that. um,
He
and then
actually he actually stays on screen a little bit longer than I remember.
mm, yeah,
May
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe you're in it when you're watching it, like you're
yeah,
really in it, and then but now I'm rewatching this and I'm like, it should have been quicker. It
yeah,
should have been faster.
yeah. That last little turn of the his head, yeah,
Hmm.
was just a little too. They held on that to a little too long. But and then yeah, then we cut to the teenage son. He's learned the code to get into the house his mom's trying to sell, the completely awesome house that, and then he jumps on the couch, which pissed me the hell off. It's like, dude, like, you can sell that, come on, get out of there. But and then they have, so earlier on when him and his buddy are watching the weird little old porno together. There's a scene in the porno where the actor tells the actress, "You've been a bad little girl," and then reaches out and starts caressing her breasts.
Hmm.
So he thinks this is the move to make. The girl's talking to him, and he says, "You've been a bad girl," and then goes out and reaches out for her breast, and she freaks out naturally. And I have to wonder, is this the absolute only piece of media he's ever seen? Like, Anne of Green Gables has romance in it, and kiss, like, he's never seen Anne of Green Gables or like Full House or anything.
No, he was sheltered.
I guess.
It wasn't just porn.
Yeah.
They everything was gone. Uh, it's just I think sometimes a creator and a director don't think about outside the movie,
Yeah.
maybe like a little bit more context. Um, but so they want to loop it around
Mm.
and take advantage of that,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
make for a funny moment.
Yeah. And it was also one of the only light moments in the movie, because
Mhm.
he does get a kiss, and there's a ride home um, with a I think the only song in the movie, the only, like, not horror related sound.
Licensed song.
Yeah, there was a soundtrack, but most of it was kind of screeching, like high pitched droning noises to kind of
Mhm.
add to the uncomfortableness of the movie. But so then the dad
This is so good.
installs a camera. They I guess earlier they re hooked up their alarm system. The alarm system's going off. They can't figure out why. The company says all the doors got tripped at the same time. Like, everything tripped at the same time. They can't figure it out. So get the cameras set up, um, and of course it leads to um, some stuff happening with that. He's rewatching the night before, and I like the fact that it went from the front door to the living room to the hallway, and then all three bedrooms started doing it at the same time. So it's like they're coming and then they're leaving, kind of a thing. That was
Mhm.
pretty good.
It is so good because it's like again I mean they've already made the alien point
Mhm.
obvious, but
Yeah.
to think about like um poltergeist activity this seems very quintessential,
Yeah.
but it's like, obviously, if aliens don't want to be detected and they were able to get to our planet from somewhere else, then they probably have something of manipulation
Yeah.
fields around them. They have some kind of technology that would help cloak them, it
Mm.
no matter what. So it it bringing both of those elements of like a technology and ghost activity
Mm.
together
Yeah.
really gets
And
me
yeah, we'll
going.
get a little bit later where when he finally sees what's going on and he decides to start believing. Um,
Hmm.
uh, the mom is showing the house, looks like it's gonna go well, and then it just starts bashing her head into a window. um,
Hmm.
and wakes up. She's lost 6 hours, I think. And then at night, the husband, she wakes up and the husband's gone out the house, and she finds him like this, which is a pretty good scene. As far as I wasn't expecting the blood to come gushing out of his nose, like that was an unexpected, like, little, I guess, twist to I thought, he'd maybe scream or something like the kid did earlier, but yeah, no, it was just gushing.
Yeah, it just came. Yeah, it came like a waterfall, didn't it? It just started like
Yeah, it just both
running real
nostrils
bad.
just straight. But so he's still, like, even at this point, which is crazy, he's giving her this look. You're crazy. He's just not believing her. He actually,
Everything's fine.
yeah.
God.
He tells her in this scene, like, "You're acting crazy. You're acting crazy." It's like, dude, have you not seen what's happening? Like, get with, and like I said before, he's kind of, for me, and I know, in movies and stories, you need that, that drama, that back and forth. You need that tension, push pull tension. But there's, at a certain point, it's just like, for me, it's like you're past the point of credulity now, you know. And I think that for me was this point, but it gets changed fairly quick for him. The I like the dynamic that people are starting to ask questions. Like, there, it's not just affecting inside the house, like the family dynamic, but like others are starting to wonder what's
Hmm.
going on. And
Yeah.
so little boy, has unexplained bruising. Um, Motherfucker, I am really. I'm so sorry that you guys have to see my face so much during this. And why is it not doing that now? Huh. Okay, let me click on this. Let me click on this. There it goes. What the fuck? What the fuck? You know what? I gotta figure out something with this because it did this last week, I think.
Hmm.
Um, but not this bad. Huh. Anyways, the teen boy goes out into the woods and has quite an episode. Let me figure out. Let me push this. We'll do that one. We'll see if this one works for a while.
Okay.
Um, Thought I had a picture of that, but he ends up in the hospital with branding marks on him. So people are starting to think that the parents are abusing their kids, and like you said earlier, I think that, like, the bird thing would be a really good thing to point at. Like, you guys know there's weird stuff happening in my
Hmm.
house. Like, um, but then the dad ends up watching the video again, going like frame by frame, and he finally sees, at the same time, in all three rooms, three different beings, shapes.
Hmm.
Comes in, tells his wife, "I believe you," And she's like, okay, because I know somebody. All right, know of somebody to help us.
Yeah.
And that's where the great you son of a bitch. Okay, 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 okay. We're gonna go back to this one. Watch this. Yeah. How about this? I'm gonna just take us off. Yeah. Let's see if that works. Um,
Works for
uh,
me.
J.K. Simmons
Mm-hmm.
shows up in the movie, which elevates the movie immediately because he's
Yeah.
fantastic in everything he does. Did you know he's an Idaho guy? I live in
Didn't know.
Idaho. He
Okay.
he lives up in Sun Valley, and they do there's like a local theater group up there, and he's part of it. He'll be in plays in the movie theater that's up there still. So
That's awesome.
um a bunch of people. Bruce Willis lived up there, Demi Moore. But yeah, for whatever reason, that's where
Uh-oh.
all the Illuminati go and hang out and stuff. But um,
Uh,
they have
have to watch
they're
out for
yeah
Bohemian Grove.
every year an Oprah led meeting of like all of the richest people meet up there. There's a tiny little airport that's up there, and once a year for about a week or so, all the nicest private jets are parked up there at that little airport, and they have some sort of meeting where they probably discuss how to rule our lives.
Bro.
Yep.
Yeah, Bohemian Grove too, dude.
Yep.
That's crazy.
um, so carrying on, we find out what the itching on the back of the husband's ear is because uh, J.K. Simmons has apparently tried to dig it out before,
Hmm.
which is crazy. That's a lot of ear stuff that you're going to be
Yeah.
poking at. They should have made him hard of hearing in that ear. Um, and then they show this scene of all his research, his life of kind of tracking missing people and the similar circumstances that this family's been going through. So if you remember, he says, "I don't even fight them anymore."
Right.
Um, uh, is he alone, or was he also like them, a family, and something happened? Like, did he have someone go missing? Because he's not the one who's gone missing. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Um, you know, maybe if I had been paying more attention,
Well, they don't
there
really.
might be some signs of him
Yeah,
having a family if he didn't outright mention it.
yeah, because he does tell them like there's a certain point which they're gonna take somebody,
Hmm.
but it's not him because he's still there.
Right.
So I was thinking about, I wonder if that was his deal. He had a family that got him on this, what do you want to call it? Crusade, I guess.
But so he mentions that you want to get a dog.
Hmm.
Uh, wait, before I mention this later on in the movie that they return to, don't they go back to ask more questions?
No, his whole thing happens in one kind of time period. It's sort of cut in half with, I think they go to like the kid doing something, but it's the same one period where they're there. She goes to the bathroom, and then she walks into this room while he is telling the husband like, you got to protect yourselves, you got to stick together,
Yeah.
and you can
Well,
maybe thwart them.
he was saying like I don't have dogs because the dogs can sense them and it sets them off. So I don't like having dogs in the house. And so I like cats. They
Yeah.
don't really care. I'm like,
Hmm.
oh great. So my cats don't give a shit if aliens are coming. They don't catch mice. and it'll catch chipmunks, and now they're not even gonna bother about aliens. Thanks, guys.
Yep. uh, so then, they start preparing. They go to buy a gun, and I did appreciate this in that typically in movies where someone goes to buy a gun, the gun owner's like, "Hell yeah, you can buy whatever you want. I'll just give it to you right now." And this
Mhm.
one, the guy is like, "What are you doing exactly? Like, I don't know if I should sell this to you."
Right.
They go and buy a dog, which I got this little aggressive is the remark on this dog. This will come into play a little bit later.
Mhm.
Um, and then they start setting up the house. Move on to the next slide. Come on, motherfucker. There it is. Boarding up the windows, getting everything fortified. Um, okay, this is just something I noticed the quickest little dumb things in movies. I told my wife, out of all the things in this movie that are supposed to be disturbing, this disturbs me the most. What the hell's going on here? Why is everything only partially chopped?
It's just ingredients. They just needed some of the pepper and some
Yeah,
of the onion.
you just need
Wasn't all of
this
it.
the stem part of the pepper, and then
Yeah.
um,
Jeez,
just a little
Kuka.
thing I noticed. But anyways, they sit down for dinner. They decide to watch some fireworks and kind of reminisce. And it's supposed to be that moment of the family kind of coalescing, like we're coming together. This is our healing
Mhm.
moment, um, because we're facing something bigger than our little problems we've been having. And then also, the dog is the most chill dog ever. He's not.
Not caged up or anything.
Yeah. Um, and then TV goes on the fritz. Things are about to go bad.
Right.
So they naturally do the opposite of what they were told. Um,
Right.
the guy said, "You guys got to stick together." So he stays downstairs. The
Mhm.
mom drops the kids off in a room, and then they're all split up. So it's the way it goes. But so here's a one of the, I think for me, bigger issues I had with this movie. Um, so she's in the hallway.
Mhm.
Nothing's really happened yet downstairs. The dog's barking, the dad's holding the gun, and as you can see in this shot, she turns the TV in the master bedroom turns on, and so she turns to go see what's going on down there, and this guy's behind her. At that point, um, downstairs, all the screws begin unscrewing themselves and popping out of the wood.
Mhm.
Here's my issue. Why did that happen? He already is in the house. They clearly can get in and out,
Mhm.
and it's just
I th
it,
they can get them I'm pretty sure they can get the people out in and out of the house without opening anything as well.
mm, yeah, yeah. But I was thinking about it when they were in talking with J.K. Simmons character. He did mention that they do things to scare people.
Mm.
He says that they start with little things like a mess in your kitchen or whatever, and then kind of build up. They use your fear against you. Is basically what he said. So after like I said, going through it again and gathering the pictures, my first question was like, why are they doing this? Why are
Yeah,
they making such a dramatic entrance? And then it's like, oh, okay, it might be because it's a fear thing.
intimidation kind
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah. So but still, it was um, the light, the wood falls down. The dad shoots, gathers the family. They all come together. They're in the master bedroom. Lights are flickering, and as the lights flicker on and off at some point, there they are. They're there.
Hmm.
I will say I guessed the ending of this um, uh, earlier on in the movie, but um, then lights are flickering. Aliens in. A shot rings out. Everything goes black. This kid wakes up, and the whole family's gone. He sees his little brother and decides running down the hall or something, goes to chase him, and uh, finds his father and his mom dead on the. His mom's dead. His dad's here, and his dad says, I blame myself. Basically, this is all my fault. Puts the shotgun to his head. The kid screams, sees his little brother, chases him again, um, and sees him, goes to reach out to him, and then the big twist is this. So I guessed at a certain point he's the one that's going to get taken.
Hmm.
Like it just it didn't feel right that they focused so much more on him than with his girlfriend and his friend. It just felt a little to me imbalanced. I was like, he's gone. He's the one who's going to
Yeah.
go. But also that felt very much like an Evanescence video.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah, they were
then
talking. Go
oh,
ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead. I was just going to carry on with the.
I was just say they mentioned him having like headaches as a kid, having a sickness before his little brother was born. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
So he was like already marked,
yeah, they do
basically.
some flashbacks of like that scene earlier in the really cool 70s house where the little girl is having an asthma attack, and the mom says, "Oh, my son was sick all the time at the
Hmm.
when he was young," and that was one of the kind of signs that this guy was telling them about. And so movie ends with him cutting a clipping out of a missing kid, which is our young missing kid. The family has lost their house apparently and are moving into a new an apartment. Um, I will say he got this stuff up real quick because she's still bringing boxes up.
Yeah.
She's still bringing boxes up from the truck, and he's like, "I'm getting up my conspiracy wall right now. I'm sorry, um, and then
Just like me for real.
yeah, and then so that's where you discover that the older boy, she finds some drawings that he did when he was a small kid, and yeah, look at it, there it is. It's he was the one the whole time. And the movie ends with a callback to the walkie-talkie scene with the brothers talking to each other, and you hear, I forget what this boy's name was, like Sammy or something, but
Hmm.
the last word is the older brother saying his name, and yeah, that's how the movie went. How I will say I did enjoy it on a couple levels. It was I had a couple jump scares. I thought for the most part, like the dialogue and like the writing was good. But I also enjoyed the kind of the cheesier parts too. Like
With
they
strange food options.
yeah. But yeah, no, I did like this movie. I would suggest if you are watching now or later, haven't seen it, go ahead and give it a watch. It's on I watched it on not Tubi. There's another one like Tubi, but it's got ads. I will say, if you don't like a lot of ads, don't watch it on. Is it Freebie? I think I watched it, but
Hmm.
I mean, they threw ads in like
Yeah.
crazy. Like, yeah, but um, But yeah, no, solid movie. Thanks for the recommendation, and you know, talking over this movie with me. But also, now we got to dig into more alien stuff.
Absolutely.
So, like you said, how did this movie play into your belief of an aliens, and what is your stance on aliens now?
Well, currently, I fully believe that in our universe we have intelligent life. Um, I also believe that we have a stagnant uh, physics department. Um, the general relativity formula has been kind of the model that has been the go-to ever since they discovered it, with Einstein and the Manhattan Project, and
Mhm.
um, this discovery of the neutron, um, and because there is more than likely so much more to physics to unlock, um, and it's just so kind of almost improbable that we wouldn't have found something else in physics to unlock a bunch of more capabilities.
Mhm.
Um, it's just not likely to me. I think we have, and I think that uh, if we have, then more than likely that another intelligent life could do the same. And I'm not entirely sure how that would work.
Mhm.
If you are going to manipulate gravity, which you would have to manipulate gravity to go through space, like you said in Event Horizon, they're using wormholes,
Mhm.
and that's essentially what you would have to do. If you're doing that, you're also manipulating time. They're both interlinked.
Mhm.
So traveling through space using um, gravity as your leverage, and as using the theory of like maybe wormholes or bending the space time, you are totally messing with time, like totally fucking with time.
Mhm.
And so wherever you get to is still like not at the same rate of where you left from. If you, let's say we cracked it on Earth and we were able to do it, it's not going to be lined up with the same timeline that you leave from. So um it's just a whole other world of
Yeah.
like, what are these things, and if
Mhm.
they've done this, what are they, how are they able to manage that kind of thing, and then if they can manage it and manage it accurately, then they there's no telling what else they
Yeah.
can do.
Mhm.
um I also believe that we have, like I said, we probably have the science to do something new. But I also believe that that would completely reorient, hard reset the world
Yeah.
on many different ways. And it wasn't until recently that I started to actually kind of think about the implications of having a brand new technology and brand new breakthrough in physics that would alter everything. Because I was like, wait a minute, it's not just oil and gas people,
Mhm.
it's car manufacturers, it's technology manufacturers, it's Boeing, it's Nvidia,
Mhm.
you know, the whole gambit. Um, that would be affected by new technology
Yeah.
and would collapse their business models. So, um, but that aside, you also have to have somebody give the message, and it has to be somebody that's going to be trustworthy, and it's going to have to be somebody that can bridge, religion and bridge science and
Mhm.
bridge political standings.
Yeah.
You can't show it, or at least you shouldn't show it, because you have adversaries, and those adversaries would want to know,
Mhm.
and it's it, it'll just mess everything up. But I'm like, let's go,
Yeah.
let's do it. But
So you've kind of come to a place of I guess understanding where if you were the government or whatever and
Mhm,
you had certain knowledge where you hear these things like, oh, the world's not ready for it,
mhm,
and most people hear that and they're like, oh, that just means you're greedy or whatever, and it's like,
mhm,
no, like there's
mm,
there's a monumental shift that would happen, that there needs to be like slow rollout of a lot of different things that all need to come together very very tightly for this to work. you know
right. And like, you can't lie about this and come out and be like, okay, guys, we've been lying to you for like 50 years, and this totally
yeah.
earth-shattering thing is real. Um, by the way, hydroelectric vehicles exist, and also, this free energy exists, and this
Yeah.
thing exists, and we've been suppressing it the whole time. It's like, that's not going to happen. They're not going to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you run into the problem of humanity of like,
Mhm,
you know um it's kind of the giving human aid to third world countries, and it just ends up in the people with power's hands.
mhm.
And that's just humanity. Like that's just how people with power will do everything they can to get their hands on that thing and twist it or disappear it or whatever. So yeah, there's so many different aspects to those sorts of things that yeah,
I'm not
it's
I'm not convinced that we don't have another new world on our hands.
mhm,
I'm I think that uh in the right series of events, that we start getting drones and tests, you know,
mhm,
if this is a real thing, and we come to acknowledge that, then we have a whole vast universe to explore.
yeah,
And I think there would be many, many people willing to take that risk, just like the people that came over on the Mayflower,
mhm,
to start something new and get away from this
yeah,
bullshit, you know,
yeah. There was
and
a
they're willing to risk their lives over it.
yeah, there was a book series that I read. It has star in its name, Morning Star series maybe, but it's no. But anyways, it's the premise is a woman who, when she's young, she develops an irrational fear of asteroids hitting the Earth and destroying everything. So she happens to be from a wealthy family, and she uses that wealth to build up, basically a company that's building space projects, which everyone thinks is like, oh, for for technology's sake, for advancement and stuff. She's like, in her head, she's like, no, this is to protect us from destruction, from
Hmm.
something hitting the earth. But at one point, there's a scene where she's having a Senate hearing, and they're asking her about the environmental impact, and like we all this stuff. And one of the lines that always stuck out to me, that it just you know stuck in my head, was she says, yeah, I know that we have limited resources on this planet. I just always assumed that at this point we'd be on other planets getting those resources. And that was
Yeah.
something that's always kind of stuck to my in my head. Like, we have this concept of the pie's only so big, but it's like, no, we're just the cherry on the pie. Like, there's a whole the pie is the whole thing. We just
Hmm.
have to learn how to get out there and get it. That was, yeah. So that, yeah, some of that, I think I'm on, like I said earlier, my partner and his stuff about the Nephilim and all that stuff. I think I lean more in that direction. It's like spiritual or dimensional things, that are incur, having incursions into our reality, our world. Uh, so let me talk about my partner real quick. But my partner just recently told me, he says, because I had mentioned my daughter and her that little story. We were talking about something. And I just brought that up, and he told me that ever since he was a little kid, he sleep paralysis and the uh, whatever it is, the sleep paralysis demon or whatever that like
Hmm.
hovers over you. He's dealt with that. Now I've had my wife has that issue here now and then. She'll you know I have a theory on some of that, but we'll get maybe touch on that a little bit. But he went so far as to say that he's had um abductions. He's like, multiple times in his childhood and teens and stuff, abductions. And he says that, like, even to the point where they were stealing sperm from him and stuff like that. So he's had a lifetime of this stuff going on, and um, never really could get answers that were he felt were good enough for him.
Hmm.
And then he started hearing about the Nephilim and those sorts of things, and now he's kind of tying those things together, and like um, he's leaning in that direction. Like, it's not, these are spiritual forces that were attacking him when he was young, and the reason they were doing the things they were doing were Nephilim blood, DNA related things. And so yeah, that's I it's I don't know how much of it, like, I'm always a little skeptical of everything.
Right.
So I'm not sure, but like a lot of it to me is like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense in a lot of different ways. And
So
also, I'm just I have a hard time thinking aliens give two shits about us if they were actually aliens, like it's spiritual things.
it's a hard disagree. That is a hard disagree to me.
Okay.
We as humans care so much about insignificant things.
Hmm.
Like no, we are humans. We're not other dimensional beings or
Yeah, yeah.
aliens or anything like that. But still, we are fascinated with all kinds of things, even the most basic form of ants. We have researchers and
Mhm.
scientists that have farms and have magnifying glasses and have data and papers on what they do, what
Yeah,
they eat. They track everything that they do, and the ants just keep going. They
yeah.
don't care. They're doing their ant thing. and I think that, again, if this is something that has technology that can move through crazy forms of wormholes and
Mhm.
everything, that as a planet we are giving off enough signals to definitely alert something, especially as the nuclear bomb started to be tested.
Mhm.
It seems like all the ideas of a greater space and possibilities uh, started to kind of manifest with the nuclear bomb. And I just don't think that's a co- coincidence. I think
Yeah.
that it set off a signal more than any radio ever has. But we are sending radios
Yeah.
into the vast space, and if there are things that are going through wormholes and has a technology and they're a little pod, and they don't have to be biological. They could also
Mhm.
be sending robot drones and all
Yeah.
kinds of
Yeah.
things that can live in our oceans and can
Yeah.
live in our coldest, deepest reaches of the Arctic and um, go completely undisturbed.
Mhm.
But I think that if they get a signal, they come by and they're like, oh my god, oh, they just set off a nuclear. They discovered the neutron.
Mhm.
They're fucking with shit. We gotta maybe pump the brakes on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
We might have been put here by them. We might have there might have been just some basic, regular animal stuff going on, and one
Mhm.
of them came down and was like, "Let me just stick this in you real quick," and then they went hands off and was like,
Yeah.
"Let's
Yeah.
see what happens." And and to me, um, I think that the idea of God would be outside of that,
Mhm.
even still, even if if species came and like manipulated something, and we gained consciousness and
Yeah.
we called that God. I still think God would be something a little bit more um, present than that, because I think that is I think God would be a universal uh, intensity that is reality. And
Yeah.
I think I think bending gravity is God. I think setting off a nuclear explosion is God. I think an apple sprouting from a tree is God.
Mhm.
That's just how I see that
Yeah. Yeah.
situation. And if you want to call aliens demons or angels, that's perfectly fine, because like I said, there's a poltergeisty way that can
Yeah.
still move,
Mhm.
um, and give you ideas of magic and things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm of the opinion that the um just because something might be what we call spirit doesn't mean it doesn't operate with technological means. That just
Hmm.
because we don't recognize it as technology that we use doesn't mean that that's not what they use as technology. So yeah, I'm not not at all like opposed to the idea of like um a higher technology that we don't recognize, and
Hmm.
whether they're this name or that name, you know uh, 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 you know okay, so uh, something I listened to recently, some guy was talking about um, the whether you call them angels, whether you call them demons or whatever. The truth of the matter is we wouldn't know the difference between one or the other. We have movies that show us demons and they look like scary and
Hmm.
um and that's where we get like our concept of these things. And he said, we don't they're the same beings. You got angels, the good guys, demons, the bad guys, they're the same beings. They're just on separate teams basically. So like, if they're an alien race, and one of them are the Federation of Planets, and they're the good guys, and the
Mhm.
other one's the rebellious whatever group.
Mhm.
They're the same guys
Mhm.
wearing different jerseys. How are we supposed to know? you
Right.
know, they come and start talking to us, and we're like, "Yeah, okay, well, yeah, sure, I guess, or sounds good, or it doesn't sound good. It's at that point, it's on us to discern, I guess,
Mhm.
what's the intent, where are we headed with this.
Yeah, I like, it's the more that I talk about it, the more it's just one and the same,
Mhm,
in a lot of regards. Um, to me personally, I the more I dive into the history of these things, like, I I go through, some history videos, pretty frequently for, esotericism,
mhm,
uh, and, I go through, the channel Esoteric, and this is a PhD, um, Jewish philosopher, that is deep in it, and he, um, goes over a lot of the origins to the best of his ability. Like, or he tries to track origins down, and discuss what some of these ideas were before even the Bible
mhm,
was written. And like a lot of concepts that are demons, um, are either manifestations of like your manifestations of like a bad ego,
mhm,
being fully yourself, being driven to different forms of addiction, um, all those things that are curses of the flesh and
mhm,
embodiments of sin. um, those things get personified into an entity and then labeled as an opposition to your discipline, your patience, and those your joy and those virtues. Um, and They usually don't have anything to really do with actual entities,
mhm,
until they are made entity. So as they are discussed as entities, people will go, "Well, that entity, it came into my house last night,"
yeah.
you know. So and then so you can kind of draw a connection, like, well, if a thing that is unexplainable did happen to you last night, um but maybe it's not that,
Yeah,
entity that you're labeling it as.
yeah,
And
the
then a lot of it was when the church demonized and cataloged these demons of alternate gods, of
mhm,
false gods, gods that were from other religions, other tribes, and they just collected them and said, no, all these are not Yahweh, so they are demons.
mhm,
Um, and that's what the Goetia is in the Keys of Solomon.
yeah, yeah. Which I just yesterday, day before yesterday, listened to the what's the first part called? The legend, the where Solomon's talking about how he got the ring.
Hmm.
I just listened to that for the first time the other day. Um, I found it kind of comedic that like the way you start this is you just huck this thing at this guy. Like,
Michael's like, I don't really want to deal with it. Here's the ring.
just
Have
chuck this
fun.
at a demon's chest, dude. But oh, we got bootleggers jumping in saying hey. Um, uh, dang now. Oh, also, when you were saying sending signals out into wherever, I don't know why. All I could think of was Jesse Eisenberg's terrible Lex Luthor going ding 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 ding. Ding. But all right, you know what? I'm just looked at my power on my iPad. I'm down to 10%. So,
Okay.
do you want to talk a little bit more about your campaign? Maybe show your page real quick before we run out of battery.
Absolutely. Let me see here.
Sounds good.
It's going to be. Uh, well, I'd rather share a separate window because we're going to get
Let me
the
turn that off
infinite
for a minute.
thing. Because I can't see our screen. I guess I can trust.
How's that?
Okay, so you got me up, it looks like. Yeah. So this is the pre-launch page itself. If you go to American Demon Comics .com/Kickstarter, it'll take you to the pre-launch page. We just hit 50. I'll be releasing an update on Monday. Every 10 followers that started at 40 unlocks a new e-comic for backers of the project. So
Nice.
we now have two bonus e-comics unlocked from different creators. The first one is going to be Sync from the Comics Tribe guys, and then the second one is going to be Faint, which is running a campaign at the moment. But I'll get the issue number 1 PDF. Like I said, there'll be bonuses for everybody that backs. The pre-launch page will tell you a little bit more about the story and show you the cover and some of the art. I've got the trailer up from the volume 1. It's pretty much the same. It's going to be the same trailer. And like I said, just some previews and information. And then I also have the full page up to show everybody real quick. Just a little bit of a exclusive preview. So it goes a little bit more into the story. There are going to be the backer bonuses that will unlock once we hit certain backer numbers. So I will be doing or releasing some of the NSFW as bonuses as well, alongside any other bonuses, of course, in the campaign. And each unlock is the name of whoever the piece is of.
Yeah.
And they will be characters from my series. You a little bit more information on the variant cover, and down here at the rewards, I just wanted to show that I've got rewards like background character, a 2-hour class where I will show how to make how I make a comic page from start to finish, and commissions. And these are in their own tiers, but if you're a digital backer and you want to get in on one of those rewards, I did set them as add-ons for a little bit more of a price, not like a bundle price. But if you're in Australia and you don't want to pay for shipping of a physical product, but you want to be a background character, this will be a great option as well. And then I've got the variant covers and links to those artists, and then what my commission work typically looks like. Discord link, issue 1. You sign up for the newsletter and get issue 1, and etc. So just wanted to run all that by everybody.
If you're joining a little bit late, and you got to make sure to watch before we start talking about the movie, where Austin talks about some of the changes. Switch that off. That have happened with his campaign, and uh, more pages happening, but um, two different books now, two different issues going to be coming out. But he explains that earlier, so make sure you go back and watch that. I do have the link to your webpage in the description. So if you're watching and you want to find out more, hit up that link. It's got um, all his other links and stuff are on there as well. Uh, and yeah, it's if you haven't backed yet, I know I backed on the Friday nights.
Hmm.
So here's the question then. So having if someone has backed, does anything change with what's going on with splitting it into two and that sort of thing?
I mean, anything. What changes is that you just don't the volume one won't happen, but you can climb into the pre-launch for issue number 4, and anybody that had backed previously, I'm going to send a secret link to all the backers that were in volume one backing for that one. I'm going to send you a secret link. You'll get a few dollars off some of the other tiers. It'll have to be multiple links for different
Yeah.
tiers, and I can't do all of them, but
Mhm.
I'll try and pick some good ones, and give everybody a chance to back and for your loyalty, get some discounts on
Right.
those tiers.
Yeah.
Most people went for the digital only and the trade paperback, uh, and so
Yeah.
I might replicate that. And I am remastering issues 1 and 2 on the lettering, um, and I'm going to do a reprint of 1 and 2 issues 1 and 2 combined. So that's going to be an add-on for everybody to jump in on. You'll get the basically edition 2 of
Mhm.
issues 1 and 2. They'll be put together, so you won't have
Right.
to spend as much, um, and you get a much better chunk of the story. Uh,
Um,
yeah, that'll
are
all
you
be included.
are you going to be excuse me? Um, are you going to I'm assuming because I never check the updates on Kickstarter and all the sites. Like I know they're there, but I never. But have you updated on the site on the
On my personal website?
that and the crowdfunding site? Have you sent out updates with all this information?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
everybody got the whole spill of why I canceled, and then they got the new link and all. That's an update. The first update was on the campaign itself.
You know what? I did read that. So I do read sometimes. you know, yeah, I never go and check. I don't. I think Oh, I hit the button that says make your pledge or whatever. That should be the worst for me is Kickstarter when you have to fill out that extra little. Uh, what is it called? The thing they send out afterwards where you verify
Survey.
your address and stuff. It's like,
Oh, backer survey, I think.
yeah, I've missed out on I think 3 books
Hmm.
because and then I have to reach out and be like, sorry, dude. Like, but anyways, so also I realized why my battery died so quickly tonight. I had my brightness all the way up. So yeah, that's great. Um, it's slowed down a lot since I turned that brightness down. So, but
Hmm.
still, I'm down below 10% right now. But anything else you wanted to? You got any other streams you're gonna be jumping on next, and anything else you want to cover before we wrap up?
I'll be jumping on K-pop's stream Wednesday. She had a little neck injury that has been setting her back a little bit, but we've rescheduled and hoping she has a good recovery. And I'll be joining her on Wednesday. I want to say I got on Comics for All channel shortly after the launch, like June 18th. I'm going to try and have a launch party on the Friday I go live.
Mhm.
But I'm probably going to be at my local art place called Low Mill, and I'm gonna be in the comic studio with all the comic guys and try and having a little bit of a get together launch party there, and I might go live for 30 minutes or
Oh,
so.
yeah.
And we're gonna go live on June 5th. So if you want the date, it's on the pre-launch page. All the information for that is there as well.
All right. Sounds good. So again, thanks for sharing the movie with me. Thanks for talking it through. Thanks for sharing your campaign update and stuff. I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate all the chat. Thank you for jumping in and chatting a little bit. And next week, I don't remember who I've got on. So yeah, you have to watch X to see who that is. um, and hopefully next week I won't have the stupid issue where my face keeps popping up way too big for my pleasure. But but we will see you guys all next week. See you on X, everyone, and thanks for joining. Have a good one.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so
Yes.
much.